I got you.
All right, creatures of the night. Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Talking Taker for another round of digging up the dead man. My name is Alex Doriot. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Talking Taker podcast, and this is our YouTube channel as I am unboxing figures and adding to my Talking Taker Undertaker figure memorabilia collection, including figures of the Undertaker, merch of the Undertaker, and also figures and merch to represent all of his various pay-per-view opponents that we have covered, his rogue gallery, his victims that we have covered through the Talking Taker podcast. That's my journey I've been on, trying to collect a figure to represent every episode of our podcast, every single one of the Undertaker's pay-per-view opponents. And I've got two brand new Mattel Elite Legends figures to unbox for you today. I've been doing a lot of retro unboxing, vintage unboxings here on the YouTube channel, but today we got a couple of figures that you can find out on the shelves that I had to have for the Talking Taker collection. One of my most anticipated figures of all time right here. It's not the Undertaker, but it's Mean Mark Callous right here. A dream figure in a lot of ways, a figure that I don't think I or many other people ever thought we would see. So I'm going to get to that one in just a minute. But I also have, this one was from the Target pre-order that actually came through. I still have not seen one of these on the shelves here in Greenville, South Carolina. I know a lot of people have been lucky enough to have that. I have not seen one of these in person. So this Target pre-order actually thankfully came through. And I haven't seen any of this Legends series. This is Legends 14. I haven't seen one of them in the shelves on the shelves here yet. We've still got the Jake the Snake series, Cowboy Bob Orton. Those are still on the shelves here. But got the Edge, and this is the Chase Edge actually, which is pretty neat. And this is courtesy of friend of the show, former and frequent guest and contributor to the Talking Taker podcast, Randy Turco, aka at Pokey's Little Dog on Twitter. We have been on the lookout for figures for each other here for a little while now, and I let him know that I was also searching for this Edge figure to represent a match in the Talking Taker collection, and he picked it up for me and was kind enough to send it my way. So thank you very much, Mr. Turco. Why do I need this Edge figure? Why does this need to be added to the Undertaker Victims collection? Well, of course, I'm sure most of you out there watching, you remember Undertaker's classic feud with Edge throughout 2008, a little bit of 2007 into 2008. Had, I want to say, 5 pay-per-view matches against each other during that time frame. The Rated R Superstar and The Undertaker, of course, main evented at WrestleMania against each other for the World Heavyweight Championship, WrestleMania 24. But this Edge would not be a good representation of that version of Edge. This is more of, I think this is technically 2002 Edge. On the back of the box, it talks about his tag team title opportunity and victory with Hulk Hogan in 2002. So I think that's essentially what this is representing. But I think it's basically a representation of 2001 Edge as well. And that's why I need him to represent probably a forgotten Undertaker match for a lot of casual fans out there, not hardcore Undertaker fans. Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boyz versus the Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker and Kane, in a triple threat tag team tables match from No Way Out 2001. Yes, folks, that is a match that actually happened. Of course, we have a whole podcast talking about and reviewing that match, a very strange one. So a month before the big TLC 2 match at WrestleMania X7, there's a tag team tables match with the Hardy Boys are out, Undertaker and Kane are in there instead. Very strange time. Don't understand why that match happened. Very, very weird booking and storyline there. Of course, Undertaker and Kane will go off to have their own separate matches at WrestleMania 17. And they were previously feuding with Haku and Rikishi at this time. Just weird booking. Haku and Rikishi don't even make it onto WrestleMania. They kind of blow off their feud with Undertaker and Kane on TV. And they get inserted into that tables match, oddly enough. So, yeah, that's why I want to get this Edge to represent that time period of Edge. And I will get another figure to represent, 2008 Rated R Superstar Edge. If a superstar has had multiple matches with Undertaker, I don't get a figure to represent every single one of those matches. But if there is a big enough character difference, costume difference, something like that, I will try to represent that. And since this Edge is out there, it's representing, I think it's a pretty significant difference between 2001, 2002 Edge, and 2008 Edge. I wanted to pick this one up. I didn't pre-order it, but I was like, if I see it out there, I'll get it. Randy saw it out there. He helped me out with it. It is the chase, but I'm going to open it up. All my figures are loose up here, so I'm going to open this bad boy up. It's an excellent looking figure. Let's let him breathe. Edge is a guy, man, I know me and my co-host, Mr. Travis White, we have been fans of since day one, you know, summer of 1998 when he debuts. Just a very unique character, guy who jumps off the screen. He is in there tight. Be careful here. He's got some nice accessories. Yeah, there we go. Got the alternate hands. Again, with most guys, unless it's a Taker figure, or unless they're really significant hands, honestly, these go straight in the trash. I'm fine with the hands that he has on here. Yeah, not keeping those. See ya. Let's take a look at this Edge figure. It's got the soft goods jacket, and it's, you know, painted on the little buckles or straps on there. Of course, he didn't really wear the jacket strapped up, so that's totally fine. And you can see this sort of shiny, sort of pleather-like material on there, which is fairly new. I don't remember seeing other figures, not too many figures using that sort of material. It's usually like a rubbery or, you know, a soft leather on there. So you got this shiny, pleathery material on there, which works perfect for that jacket. And look at that beautiful mane of hair here on Edge. Long, flowing blonde locks, which is absolutely what he had during this time period. That's great. Let's see if we can get this jacket off. I don't know, I might regret this. Let's see here. Okay, so he's got the elbow pads. Nice. You know, sort of a slim body type here on Edge. He's got his tattoo right there that you can see. And it's got the shades. What I like about these sunglasses is, okay, look at that. Sort of a small, let's see if I can hold it right there. Whatever that part of the sunglasses is, the part that goes over your ears. Why can't I think of what the name of that would be? But smaller on there, and it actually inserts into his hair right there. So it looks a little bit weird if you take the sunglasses off. He's got those holes right there. He's got the big smiling grin on his face. Actually, it looks like a little bit of a scuff mark on there from the sunglasses on his head, but I was able to rub that off. Okay, so it looks better right there. Big cheesy grin. That's babyface Edge, but he did that big cheesy grin as a heel, as the 5-second pose Edge as well. So it works for me, and this is great right here. You can just slip those shades right in to the holes on there. So many Mattel figures that have glasses or sunglasses on there. Oh my God, it is impossible to get those glasses to stay on the head. It is impossible to not lose those glasses. So that is a smart design feature right there for the Edge, to keep those glasses on there. I mean, the tights are perfect. It's exactly what you want. All the design is on there. The design on the boots, man, what a beautiful figure. One of the best Edges probably that they've ever put out, honestly. Yeah, honestly, maybe a little bit better than even the Rated R Superstar Edge. But many, many more Edges. There'll be no shortage of Edge figures coming out. He's still on the active roster here in 2022. So I'm sure we'll see more throwback Edges and more modern day Edges. But for me, this one is going to go on the... actually, I guess he will go on the top shelf. Because I put 90s Undertaker opponents and Biker Taker era opponents there on that top shelf. So he will be the rare Mattel figure that goes up there on that top shelf. So very, very cool. Welcome to the collection, Edge. All right. Main event time. Let's do it. Let's do Mean Mark. A little sip of iced coffee there for the working man. Mean Mark Callous. Oh my goodness. I've been so excited for this figure to come out since it was announced a few months ago. We are living in the golden age of Mean Mark merchandise and representation here. I got my shirt from WWE shop that I got a few months ago as well. Let's talk about Mean Mark for a second. We've actually got a whole episode devoted to Mean Mark Callous in WCW on the Talking Taker podcast channel. I believe it's in the 60s or 70s, I think there. I don't remember exactly what number, but I'll definitely post a link to it here on the video and in the comments below that you can check out. We talk about his whole run through WCW and feature his biggest match in his short run in WCW against this guy right here, United States Champion Lex Luger. Of course, this is my childhood Galoob Lex Luger, one of the only WCW figures I had as a child, along with Sting, and randomly, for some reason, I had 2 Stings, and I also had a Tom Zink, the Z-Man. Don't know how these ended up in my collection. Secondhand somewhere, but man, Lex Luger, I was a big fan of his. My Aunt Kathy, who was one of the first people who got me into wrestling, was a big Lex Luger fan, so she made me a fan of his as well. Flexi Lexi, Sexy Lexi, the total package. But anyway, he went one-on-one with Mean Mark in WCW. Pretty fun match. You can check that out on the Talking Taker channel. Of course, he was also managed by a couple people who have got figures of. Paulie Dangerously, aka Paul Heyman, still around, still kicking, still vital part of the wrestling business. Man, tell you what figure I would love to have. It would be a Paul E. Dangerously Mattel Elite figure. WCW or ECW version. That would be very, very cool. Honestly, kind of surprised that they've never done that. That would be neat with the giant cell phone and the mullet on there. It would be very, very cool to have. A guy who has been a vital part of this guy's career from those early days in WCW, from managing him to feuding against him, you know, with the Dudley Boyz, and then of course with Brock Lesnar, even with Heidenreich, amongst other people. Vital part of the Undertaker's career. And we can't forget about this man who also managed Mean Mark briefly in WCW. And right here, holla at your boy, holla, 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 playa, Teddy Long. This man right here, before he was telling people as the general manager that they'd be going one-on-one with The Undertaker or in a tag team match with Undertaker playa, he was managing The Undertaker in WCW. Theodore R. Long. What did I just say about glasses? This is actually a Jax figure. Good Lord. These Teddy Long glasses are the bane of my existence on my shelf. I've lost them so many times. There you go. If you get them on there once, you better not touch it there. But great Teddy Long figure. Gotta have this. Of course, he never had a match with The Undertaker, but what a vital part of The Undertaker's career. Come on, man. Gotta have this Teddy Long figure. And yeah, I mean, Mean Mark, what a short run to get a figure off of. I was thinking about this, man. I don't know if it's the most obscure figure or character to get a Mattel figure, but it's got to be in the conversation. I mean, obviously we had the Goon recently, which is up there, and I know they've done the Dungeon of Doom guys like the Zodiac and the Shark. Of course, the Shockmaster as well. So they've done some obscure WCW characters. And obviously, Mean Mark go on to become The Undertaker. Mark Calloway is a legend. But this is a short run in WCW as a mid-card guy. Only about 6 to 8 months there in the company. It's more significant than you might think because, like I said, he does have a U.S. title match on pay-per-view against Lex Luger, which is a pretty big deal. He faces Brian Pillman. on a pay-per-view or Clash of the Champions, faces Johnny Ace, faces the Road Warriors and that Skyscrapers tag team with Dan Spivey. So it's more significant than you might think, but man, it's not much. Kids out there, they're probably like shaking their heads and wondering who this guy is if they see him on the shelves. So it's pretty crazy that they actually made a figure for this run, but I get it. You know, the Undertaker sells figures. He's one of your biggest characters, one of the biggest parts of your brand, one of the biggest features that you could sell for a Mattel figure. But they've done almost everything, almost every incarnation and figure of the Undertaker that you could possibly imagine, almost every outfit and gear. Been talking with Randy Turco, been texting with him about what other possible Undertakers we could get. And there are some obscure, kind of ugly, strange, bizarre gear that he's worn during the Biker Taker era that would be fun to see. There's you know, his Hall of Fame suit that you could have him wear. We talked about Mark Calloway even before he was in WCW on our podcast. We did a whole episode about Mark Calloway in Memphis as the Master of Pain. I would love to see that figure. It'd be different gear than this. They could reuse the same head, but I don't think we'll ever get that. I don't think they technically own the rights to any of that footage anyway. WWE does. Maybe they could license a figure. I don't know. But man, this is so cool for us hardcore Undertaker fans to get this figure. Let's just open it up. Let's get to it, man. Rocking the shirt to represent it. Let's check this out. Let me read the back of the box first. Before he was taking souls and digging holes in WWE, Mean Mark Callous towered over his opponents in WCW. He battled legends like the Road Warriors, Brian Pillman, and Lex Luger, as we just mentioned here. Whether as one half of the intimidating tag team, the Skyscrapers, or in singles competition, Mean Mark's future in the business looked bright, and his eventual transformation into Undertaker turned him into a legend. Let's do it, man. Of course, I got into wrestling right after The Undertaker's debut in early 1991, so I was not aware of Mean Mark for a long time. Of course, there wasn't internet. Fans were not as savvy back then. And I think it's interesting because, like I said, I feel like his WCW run gets kind of downplayed, but he was there for, you know, a decent amount of time. And I'm sure there were people who were watching Survivor Series 1990 who saw this guy on TV and were like, oh, wait a minute, that's Mean Mark. That's one half of the Skyscrapers. That's the guy that does the heart punch. What is he doing here? But most people watching, most kids especially, probably weren't that familiar with WCW. It was still pretty regional back then. They had not hit the heights of the Monday Night Wars or anything like that. So a lot of them, you know, had no idea. And you could get away with completely changing this guy's gimmick and having him be a dead man. So interesting times and an interesting, just beautiful figure right here. I appreciate so much. We got a completely different head scan here, which you have to have. You can't get away with any, even like the Decade of Domination Undertaker head scan. You gotta do something totally different here with that beautiful red mullet. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that design. He's got the stubble. But he's still got those Undertaker features on there. Great attention to detail. Very different elbow pad on here. It is removable. It almost looks molded on. But a different elbow pad there with the red poking out on top. And most significant here, you've got this gloved hand painted on, but painted on to look like mesh, which is what he would have worn during that time when he did the dreaded heart punch. One of my favorite wrestling maneuvers. Come on, somebody needs to bring the heart punch back. Jailbird Crush did it back in his time. I would always do it in, you know, play wrestling matches, backyard matches. It's so simple, but yeah, it could be so effective if you sell it right. One of those moves, sort of like the Samoan Spike that Umaga used to do. Yeah, man, soft goods. This is actually a great comparison with this Edge figure. You can see sort of the shine on his soft good jacket, and Undertaker's is more of that leather look. Edge's sort of looks like plastic, almost rubbery sort of stuff, and Mean Mark's is leather with these chaps. Look at that, they got Velcro on them, so you can take them off and get him in his actual gear that he would wrestle in. He didn't wrestle in the chaps, so let's do that right here. Very tall, but you know, lean figure, because that's how Mean Mark was back then. He had not put on sort of the mask that he would have as the Undertaker. And look at that, dude. It's got the red trim on the top of the trunks. This is epic. The red boots. He's ready to go into competition right here with that heart punch. He does have the alternate hands, not much there. Just sort of the C grip on there. I will keep these because it's an Undertaker figure. I like to make sure I have all the accessories with those. But I'm not going to change them out. These hands are fine. Maybe pose it, holding up that glove for the heart punch there. Making people afraid of that. It's Elite, so you got all the different articulations and motions on there. Beautiful. Well done. Bravo, Mattel. For me, it's going to be one of my absolute best figures of the year. I don't know if other people will say so. I don't know if there's a huge market for a Mean Mark figure, because like I said, it is a fairly obscure character, but for diehards and Undertaker fans like me, a dream come true. So cool to get something so unique and not just another, dead man Undertaker figure. Let's see here, up next to the Edge. Oh yeah, he's got a good 6 inches on that Edge as far as scale wise, putting them right next to each other. Yeah, that's pretty cool right there. But these are my two latest pickups, two latest Mattel Elite pickups, Legends Series 14. They will be added to the Talking Taker shelf. This will be a very unique addition to put on there. You see right here, I've got my, that's all Undertaker figures. So this will stand out on there as one of the most unique ones on there. Again, let's get a Master of Pain or a Punisher Dice Morgan Undertaker figure. That would be pretty sweet. What other Undertaker or Mark Calloway figures would you guys like to see out there, folks? I think a Hall of Fame one would be pretty neat. You could even make that one a basic. Just put him on that suit mold, but give him a different head scan and give him that sweet suit design. I mean, that fit that Taker had on Hall of Fame night. What a beautiful suit. Well designed. That would be a pretty cool one to have. Of course, Survivor Series 2000. We got to get that one day. No Way Out 2001. You talk about this match that I got this Edge figure to represent. That's a pretty unique gear. Go look that up. Go look up the Undertaker gear that he wore at No Way Out 2001. Never wore that one again, and for good reason. But what other Undertaker figs would you like to see? Have you picked this one up? What's your review of it? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to the Talking Taker podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, subscribe right here on YouTube and watch the video versions of all of our episodes. We got new episodes coming out on the 1st of every month. So just recently we had our Thank You Taker Hall of Fame tribute episode. We've got more unboxings on here that I'm trying to post every week, and other Undertaker conversations and content. Unboxing of this guy, the Undertaker Wubble Rumbler, coming soon to the YouTube channel. And our May episode, we're going to be talking about the Undertaker's top 10 greatest entrances of all time. So be sure to check that one out. Me and Travis going through all of those. But until then, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, take her easy.